Hi everyone, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I am doing something a little different today, and I'm really excited to show you guys. I don't know how easy it's going to be you're going to be able to see it on camera, but these are some decoupage jars that I am making using some really fun fall digital papers by Tina over at Making and Creating. And she actually saw this project and was like, "Ooh, Pam, do you think you can figure out how to do this?" And I was like, "I will try." So we're just using little mason jars. I did pick some that have smooth edges and they're rounded. I think if it has all the little bumps, it would be a little bit more challenging, but I think these just turned out so cute. I'm actually going to make them for my craft fair this year, I think. I just love them, and I can just imagine having them on the mantle. Oh, and I put in the tea lights that just run on a little battery. If you don't want them moving around, you can put a little piece of that putty stuff after you turn it on, and then, you know, you could pull it back out. But if it's sitting still, I don't mind it like that. This one I did so we could hang it. I didn't collage it quite as much. I think I like the one that I collaged more, but you know, just different ideas. So let's make one. It's super easy, and you can use whatever supplies you have on hand. Now again, I'm using from the Clip Art Corner on the Making and Creating site, that's Tina's site, the autumn wreaths. So what I did here is I just cut them to fit, you know, where I wanted them. And then, oh gosh, were the pumpkins in the same one? I think it was a different set. I will make sure I name the sets for you guys in the description of the video in case you remember and you want to use these same ones. I also will have my link and a coupon for you guys if you decide you're interested in the Making and Creating sites. So then and then from the Digital Collage Club, I just love this little hedgehog and these mushrooms. This is from a kit, Fantastic Forest, and I just printed out some of the little cards that are in that kit to decorate with. And let's see, what else do I need to tell you? I think that's it. Oh, I printed these just on copy weight paper, so this is not cardstock, and I think it's going to make it a lot smoother when I am using my Mod Podge on there, okay? And I happen to have this outdoor Mod Podge, so that's what I'm using, but I think you could probably use whatever. I don't plan on leaving these outside. So I could see, though, how pretty they would be like on a table if you were having, you know, a bonfire and wanted some little candles or something out on your outdoor tables or sitting around. And of course, with them being the battery ones, they're very safe. You don't have to worry about them. So that's exciting. And then I'll show you how I just wrapped the twine or the baker's twine or whatever you want to use. So I did go ahead and do the fussy cutting. I want you to know this, so when it printed, you know, it was a wreath, and you could do big ones. I think that would be so cool. And then actually you could even put like a real candle in there, a big jar. I didn't happen to have any big jars, but I think that would look really cool. You can also print whatever you're using on to a smaller scale, but I liked this size, and what I did was I just picked a place where it made sense to cut it and you don't really even notice, and then I can start playing with it. I can use even smaller sections, that type of thing. I did that one almost exactly in half. I'm gonna do a little bit of a smaller section as well. And it didn't take me long, honestly, to cut these out. You know, they were fun, and I've got pumpkins. So we're just going to get started. So I like how it looks. It's almost like it's a little bit opaque. So I didn't mind that I was getting Mod Podge where, you know, there isn't the paper. So anyway, again, up to you. Kind of think about how you want to do yours. But I'm just putting down a layer. We're going to do a pumpkin first. And get this pumpkin where I want it. I think I'm going to bring it down just a little. And then I also just start putting a layer right on top, right? And just make sure it's looking the way I like. Now, the jar's rounded. And so if you just keep pressing, you can get this paper to not have little creases and look great. I use a combination of my finger and my paintbrush. This is cut where I kind of cut that out so it's sliding on me a little bit, but there we go. So the first little pumpkin is down and it dries pretty quick. I have a towel in my lap to help me here with this project. So I really, really liked this, the colors and everything in this wreath as well. So I'm going to cut a little piece off. And I'm okay if it kind of comes up into the where I'm going to wrap the twine, because you won't see it. But I think that would look pretty, maybe like that. Again, I just kind of played with it. I do think I like it having them overlap and having more rather than less. So I was just wondering if I could get a pumpkin kind of up in there. If I did something like this, I'm just going to hold it here for a second. Could I still get a pumpkin? And I probably could. So let's do that. And again, for me, it's okay if they all overlap. You could even, because you see the light come through even where the paper is. So you could really, layer it up, I think, if you want to. I think it would work and look good. And I like it overlapping. And I'm just making sure I have a layer underneath and on top. So cute. So cute. So again, like I said, if you have jars, when you're finished using them, food jars, you could try that. I think those little tiny yogurt jars or even baby jars would be cute. And then big ones that you could make almost like a little lantern. So fun. And it can really, I think, help pop a fall table, right? Or a mantle, or even just like in your powder room. Wouldn't it be cute to just have one of these sitting there? I think so. I may put one of mine in my powder room, but I am going to try these at a craft show. I've decided I'm probably going to try to do at least one this year, and try to have a few different things. And of course we could do Christmas themed ones as well. Whatever paper you have, we could do. There we go. But I really wanted this one to be fall. Fall, fall, fall. Okay, let's go ahead and do another set of leaves. And again, I just liked how it turned out, just kind of playing until I thought there was enough. So that's what I did. The one with the hedgehogs, I cut some of the leaves to come right along the edge, and I thought that was really cute. So play with whatever images you have. I think right after I started prepping for this, I noticed there were, I think they're called fall fairies or something, that Tina added, which would be really cute too. But I'm kind of all about the pumpkins right now. So, all right, I have several pumpkins. Let me see which ones. All right, I've already used that one. Let's do this one next. This may end up being my favorite one so far. Okay. Yeah. going to bring it up a little so that isn't going too much towards the bottom. And they go on really easy. Again, I think if it was on any thicker kind of paper, it would not. And whenever you kind of do this decoupage kind of technique, I think it's always pretty thin papers. But it feels like, I mean, mine printed nice and vibrant, but it almost feels like too, as the Mod Podge dries, they're even more vibrant. So anyway, very happy. Whoops. I laid that. Oh no. Oh, Pam. I laid it down and it was still wet and it touched. There's probably a fix. Let me just think about it for a minute, and it may just be bringing a small piece of the leaves just across the pumpkin. So let me see. This is the one it this is the one it touched too. Let me see if I can trim it up a little and make it look cute. I think I can. All right, so we're just going to cover up where I did that. So be aware of your workspace. See how it's stuck? I mean, it'll come up later. I'll clean my mat, but not to stick your project to paper on your workspace. I think when it's over, it won't matter at all because I'm overlapping everything anyway. I just, you know, lost a little bit of the pumpkin there. But that's okay because I'm using lots of pumpkins. And you know what? Oh, gosh. I think this I may have cut out multiples of the same pumpkins. No, it was a different one. Oh, wait. I probably could have just put it. It is the same pumpkin. Should I just layer him right on top? I think I will. Why not, right? See if I can get it lined up. I'll know, but hopefully no one else really will notice. We'll see what that looks like. And it's not perfect, but that way I get the rest of the pumpkin and I get these little flowers and everything. And the finger tool helps a little bit too, if you don't mind getting your finger a little sticky. Okay, we'll see how that worked. You know, trial and error, things happen. So then for this one, do I want to just do, I've got one, two, I've kind of got 3 pumpkins. I'm thinking I may just add more of the wreaths. Like this one has some little pumpkins on it. So let me just chop this up and see what we can come up with. My finger's sticky, so I'm like sitting here with my finger out in a strange angle. All right, let's do this. And I think what I want to do is bring this one around like this. And I do think a larger jar, I would have been happy leaving the wreaths intact as circles. And then, you know, would have enjoyed that, but that's okay. I'm just looking, trying to decide. I think I may just put this piece right there like that. All right. I already had quite a bit of my medium down. All right. Now you can go through if you want and kind of wipe off on the glass. And I started doing that with this one. And then you can kind of see in between. I didn't mess with it. I think it's just fine the way it is. So I'm not going, did it again, didn't I? Worry too much about that. I gotta stop setting this down on my table. All right, you can't tell on that one. All right, we are going to put that in the cup of water. We're going to move these out of our way. I have enough to make another one if I want to, definitely. And then we're going to talk about our options for the top. I'm not thinking I'm going to hang mine. I like this idea. I may, I can show you guys how I did it on just a plain jar, but I think for this one, I'd like it to coordinate with this one. So I'm going to use this same twine, and then we'll put a bow on it like I did with this one. Okay, so for this, I put a drop of hot glue on the jar. And by the way, I let mine dry before doing this, so I probably should have had one ready to just wrap, but hopefully I can do this and it'll be all right. Now, I periodically put a little bit of glue down, but I am trying to make sure I stay above this little lip of the jar. I even think if you like this decoupage idea, you could do like, I don't know about you guys, I have a lot of vases that I have gotten through the years from my delightful husband, you know, bringing me flowers and things. And I've donated a lot of them, but I still have some, and they're smooth glass. And so it might be fun to decoupage. I'm just wrapping, okay? I'm just kind of watching it as I go. And I'm not doing it like one little layer right on top of the other. I'm letting them cross over until I get the look that I want, okay? So anyway, we could do a vase, and then again, maybe put a larger candle in there. I just think there are lots of possibilities. Now, as I get these layers kind of towards the top, they tend to want to do this, even though, you know, I'm pulling it nice and snug. So I just dropped a touch of glue and kept on going, but to help it not slide up like that. And again, once I kind of feel like I have enough coverage, I stopped. So let me just look. I don't want too many gaps, you know, where the glass is. I'm gonna add another little touch of glue right here. And when it dries, I mean, I don't even see it. So, not worried about it. And I'm going to bring, I see one little piece here I'm wanting to cover. And I'm going to add glue right in here to the end. All right, and hold it in and then snip it off. Okay, I love it. I'm going to show you another kind of twine that I considered using, and I think for a larger jar it would look great. I hope I stayed on camera for you guys. Okay. So there really isn't necessarily a front, and you could put, like, you know, we could do something else with ribbon. I was even thinking we could do something like this and go all the way around with the seam binding as well instead of just a bow. I think it really is, you know, whatever you like. This one definitely got dinged up some. I'm going to just do a bow, but I do think that would be pretty to tie it around. I'm just going to kind of pick. I think I want this to kind of be the focal point with the bow. So I just tied a little bow in this kind of rusty orange color. And you guessed it, added a little dollop of hot glue and stuck it on to the twine. Cute, right? I just love these. Whoops. And look, this one is sliding up on me. So I am going to, so I have my hot glue going, just stick it down on itself because I really don't want it sliding up. Okay, and then these guys, I got a set of 12, and it says, I don't know why that one's blinking. I don't like the blinking. Okay, it says they'll run for 1,000 hours. All right, so these were on Amazon, and I'll try to link them, the ones that I got. I got the cheapest ones I could find, to be honest with you, just because I wanted to make sure that I liked them. And I don't know if, there it goes, if regular tea lights, you know, they would probably be okay if you were going to stay with them, you know, and be there. But this would allow me, this one flipped, to, you know, have them on and not have to worry about it. Like if I forget to turn, you know, blow them out or turn them off if I leave and the dogs are in the house or something like that. But up on the mantle, the dogs can't reach them. How cute. Yeah, this might be my favorite, the one I just did. So sweet. I know it's hard for you guys to see them in this, with this angle. Oh, words. Okay, let me grab another jar, and I'll show you how I did this type of hanging. Again, not that you can't figure it out, but we'll just do one together real quick in case you're interested. And I have all kinds of different baker's twines and things, so I just used this kind of natural one with a little bit of gold through it. It'd be pretty for Christmas. All right, I started with a dot of hot glue to get another glue stick, and I left a string, and this is, I don't know, maybe 10 inches, just so that I have something to, you know, tie. All right, so leave that one hanging down. I've got it held snugly with the hot glue. And again, same thing. I didn't worry about it being perfect. I let it overlap, and periodically I did a dot of glue just to help hold everything secure. And just kept wrapping until I felt, you know, I had the coverage that I wanted. Oopsie. And the ones at the top like to slip, and that's where the hot glue is your friend. I'll put a little bit in this gap. I stuck my finger in the little bit I put there. And again, I just kind of kept wrapping, making sure to leave that piece that I left long to tie, okay? While I'm finishing this, if you guys like the video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you need help with any of the links or finding any of the supplies, let me know. I try to respond to y'all's comments. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to do my very best to have the end that I'm going to have on this end, this side, be almost exactly, you know, straight across, so that if you do want to hang this, it hangs and doesn't hang crazy. So you want these to be opposite of each other. And oops, this is the one that I glued at the beginning, and I didn't use much glue to hold it down. So let's get it really pushed in there. And this one needs to come over just a touch more. Now, I did tie a little knot to try to, you know, have a little something I don't know, more for the glue to grab a hold. And I think it made it look cute. So let's go ahead and cut this one off. Cut it a little bit long to make sure I was okay. Just do a little knot. And that looks pretty straight to me. You can test it too, by the way, before you glue it down. That looks like it's hanging. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's hanging pretty straight. I need to knot it again and try to get it a little bit. Use up a little bit of that slack. There we go. Glue. All right, test it. Looks pretty close. It'll tip forward if you're not, if you don't have, or tip backwards if you don't have it balanced. Yeah, this one is a little off balance. So I'm gonna try to bring it forward just a touch. And then all I did was I tied it at the top. I think I tied a square knot, which is just like this, you know, 2. And then I also did this. What did I do? Yeah, I kind of looped it because I thought that made it look better. So like that, and pulled it through. So I have a little bit, I know the knot's not going to come undone, but look at that. There we go. And it's done. I think it looks good. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. You know, it's not like it's going to be swinging in gale force winds or something. So, all right. And then we can decorate this one, which I will do, but not right now. Let me just show you. So I was at that, the church yard sale I told you guys about. Look what I found. And I was already thinking about this project. And so I bought this, and it was like in the 2 for $1. So there were a lot of things. You could get 2 things for $1. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be perfect. But I feel like for the size of my jars, it was just a little bit big. But I am going to keep an eye out, goodness, for a bigger jar, like a great big pickle jar or something like that. And then wrap it with this and then do a whole bunch of decoupaging on it. Very excited. If my plan to do that comes to fruition, I hope it will, I will show it to you guys when it's done. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my project for today. I hope you will think about making some little jars or vases. You could do, you know, the little glass bottles. I just think they're so cute and are going to look great in my bathroom. I think that's where I'm going to put them at first, with some other little pumpkins I have, and then I'm going to make some for my craft show. So anyway, I think they probably look better in person than the video, than what the video is doing them justice for. But I am happy and I like them, and I hope you do too. Let me know what you think. Have a great day, everybody. Until next time.